Hi, I'm Susan Moran, your state senator. On today's episode of In Your Corner, we'll be talking about the legislature's fiscal year 2024 budget. With the Senate having just passed its fiscal package at the end of May, this is a great opportunity to provide a refresher on what actually goes in to making the budget happen, how the sausage is made, so to speak. We also want to highlight a few of the nearly $1.8 million in local investments that I've secured for my district and I'll be fighting for inclusion in the final budget. The annual state budget is where the legislature makes decisions on how revenue will be distributed to the state as well as locally, through a multi-stage process that involves deliberation from both chambers of the legislature, the House as well as the Senate. So after the governor releases her initial recommendations, both the House and the Senate have an opportunity to put forth their suggestions, and then it goes into negotiation. Let me just show you some things from this first slide. So the legislature convenes in 2-year sessions. In January of each year, the governor publishes the administration's proposal for the next fiscal year. We're currently in the first year of the 193rd session. Governor Healey filed a $55 billion proposal for her inaugural budget, which may sound like a lot, but actually it gets accounted for fairly quickly when taking into account all the resources that rely on state funding in order to function. In the second slide, we have the general outline of the budgetary process. And as you can see, following the release of the governor's budget, both the House and the Senate are responsible for developing their own proposals through intensive solicitation from public input from residents and advocacy groups. This year, I am the co-chair for revenue, and when the governor rolled out her budget, she first came to my committee in order to lay it out so that folks would be able to see those elements. The next step is that members will file their respective revisions based on their district's specific needs. These are proposals. Once the House and the Senate have finalized their proposals, a conference committee of selected members from both branches will come together to negotiate final language, which is then sent to the governor's desk for approval or veto. The goal is to have the budget in place well in advance of the beginning of the new fiscal year, which is July 1st. That's why many members begin seeking public input months ahead, as I have done in Plymouth, asking municipal leaders, nonprofits, for what their biggest needs are. Amendments can come in the form of local earmarks or requests targeted to a specific organization or municipality. Statewide or regional requests often are used to request funding for an existing budget item or to allocate money for statewide priorities. Then there are language changes that may add a new stipulation or clarification to the use of specific funds. There are also usually outside sections where language can be included that's not specific to the budget. These sections are typically treated like normal bills. Public input is such an important aspect of the annual budget process. I get a better understanding of what the needs of the district are through collaboration in hearing from local advocates and stakeholders That helps align my legislative and budget priorities with those of the people that I represent. I've gone to builders associations and gotten ideas from builders. One was, I need a tax break if I'm going to house my employees because my customers otherwise would be paying that higher price in building houses. My goal is to inform your own advocacy on the issues that are important to you and your community. The slideshow, along with additional information on this year's budget and budgets in the past, can be seen on my website, www.senatormoran.com. As I mentioned, the Senate took up its proposal at the end of May. Following a robust, spirited, and engaging debate process, the Senate approved 478 amendments. There were close to 1,000 filed. These added $82.2 million in spending to the budget. As the Commonwealth continues to emerge from the COVID-19 pandemic, the Senate's budget prioritizes upholding fiscal discipline and responsibility and supports the long-term economic health of the state. The package delivers historic levels of investment in education, in housing, regional transportation, healthcare, workforce development, climate preparedness, and much more, while centering equity and opportunity as a part of a broader, more comprehensive strategy to make the Commonwealth more affordable, inclusive, and competitive. These goals are all weighed against fiscal responsibility. This funding will pave the way for accelerated economic growth, improved public health initiatives, and strengthened community development. I also advocated strongly for the inclusion of these local investments, supporting the continued work of the many dedicated organizations, municipalities, and residents of Plymouth County.